it going, guys? Paul with Adaptable Survival. And what I want to take a look at is the Gerber Strongarm, so stay tuned. Alright guys, let's get into some specs about the Gerber Strongarm. First off, it's going to be held into place by this little loop with a snap button on the sheath. Comes out pretty easily. It's going to be made out of 420 high carbon steel. Does have a 90-degree spine, so you're going to be able to throw some sparks, which we'll be seeing later in the video. The blade length is 4.8 inches. It has overall length from the tip to the end of 9.8 inches. Does have this ceramic black coating on it to help with some rust resistant, just some protected from corrosion. The handle is glass filled nylon with a rubber overmold, and just in the hand it's pretty ergonomical. I will be using this with some gloves on, so I'll let you know how that feels as well. You can see at the end here that I do have a little bit of extra, and I do have medium to large hands. On the end there's a little loop. You could attach some bungee, paracord, what have you, make yourself a little lanyard, as well as a little point you can use to break glass as well. So let's take a quick look at the sheath. I have it snapped back in here, but even if you didn't have it snapped in, you know, it ain't coming out. There's very little wiggle to it. On this back side here, you have two snaps here, and if you pull those up, you can detach this belt loop attachment. To me, this is a bit excessive for how I personally like it. Some of you may like it to use that, and then you can just snap this back on there and have a little more sleeker look. Buckle the front of this up, so you know that gives you a little bit more sleek, slim profile for your knife. On the back side here, you have these slots, and that's what you use this belt attachment for. You know, I don't plan to be using that, but with this little strap here, or this little piece here, you could run that through the back here, you know, up through the back there, and attach it to any MOLLE, PALS webbing, you know, on a vest, on the side of your pack, front of your pack, what have you. You know, it's just a cheap little plastic sheath, you know, not Kydex or anything like that. I probably will be getting a Kydex sheath for this in sometime in the future, but for now, you know, this is going to work perfectly fine for the field. And this is the first time I've ever used this knife. Like I've said in most of my knife reviews, I'm going to be using them for the first time as you see them on camera. I do own a few that I've used before, and I will always state that so you guys know if it's a first time use or if it's a blade I've been using for a while. But let's just get a little idea how it cuts on this branch here. You know, chop right through this little bit here. You know, chop that little end off there. You know, it's cutting through this thing pretty easily. You know, this is right out of the box sharp, so you know, it's just chewing through this branch like nothing. You know, make a nice pointy stick for, you know, stabbing something. Let's see kind of if I can make some feathers with this. You know, I'm still not very great at making feathers, but it's a work in progress. You know, just give you a little sample of, you know, some feathers. Like I said, this does have a 90-degree spine, so you know, this is a bit of a green tree still, but you know, you can make some fine little tinder if you find a dead tree to be using that on. Let's see if we can carve into this a little bit, make a notch. You know, not a perfect notch, but you get the idea, you know, that this can perform and do that. So just got, you know, a decent sized piece of a log here. So let's see how this Gerber Strongarm batons. Knot there. Tying this down for the last one. So as you can see, I mean, this is going to baton fairly well. You know, don't want to stick in there, but as you can see, you know, this baton, it's going to be able to baton down some wood for you for some kindling. So let's try to throw some sparks with the spine of the Gerber Strongarm. As you can see, you know, this is throwing some pretty good sparks. You know, feel very confident that you can get a fire going with how much sparks are coming off this ferro rod with the Gerber Strongarm. So I just wanted to show you guys some of the chopping ability. Not necessarily that I would be chopping a whole lot with this, but I just have a decent sized branch here to give you an idea. So as you guys can see, you know, it chewed through there pretty well. I mean, it's not going to be the greatest chopper to use, but at least you know you have that ability if this is the only blade that you have with you out in the field. So I realized after doing those few tasks that I didn't use the blade with any gloves on, so I just grabbed another branch here just to do a little cutting video just to show you with some gloves on. I mean, it fits just as good with a pair of gloves on. You know, take up a little bit more of the handle, but you know, I feel very comfortable with them on. You know, scrape some of that bark off as well. Let's see. You know, need some more feather sticks, you know, getting a little better at it, you know, but ergonomically wise, you know, with gloves or without gloves, this knife feels great in the hands. So just a little bit of a wrap up on the Gerber Strongarm. I love this knife. You know, I have a few other knives that I like using, and this definitely has found its place amongst those knives that I love using. You know, I was really surprised how well this blade cut right out of the box. As you've seen, this is the first time I've ever used this knife, so it sliced through that wood very easily, through some sparks. You know, it's going to do everything that you want out in the field. You know, I haven't sharpened it yet because obviously it's the first time I'm using it, but I mean, from what I've seen on other videos, I don't believe it's going to be a huge problem. The price point on the black version is around $50. I checked on the Coyote version on Amazon, and that's going for $65. If you look on eBay, you're gonna find them, both versions, right around that $50 mark. and that all depends on the seller. So that's a great place to look if you want the Coyote Brown version. I was able to get mine off of eBay for $34 with shipping. I would have preferred the Coyote Brown version because I just prefer that color, but at that price point I couldn't pass it up. I really like it, and I'm sure it's going to be able to work for any of you guys out there. You know, I appreciate all your support and your feedback. You can like, comment, and subscribe down below, and as always, develop your mind, your body, and your gear. See you guys later.